I'm Johan Abadi. I am the head of marketing at SalesIntel. And I'm not the star of the show, quite the opposite. I'm here to introduce Julie Nelson, who is a RevOps expert. You have a lot of go-to-market engineers or self-proclaimed go-to-market engineers that I see on LinkedIn very often. Julie is one of these very top experts who are really thrilled to have shared her experience with us today. And we'll talk really about go-to-market teams who have started with Apollo, not only because of the simplicity and the overall affordability of that tool, but who are hitting some roadblocks when they are trying to scale and are looking at ZoomInfo as the next step. ZoomInfo being the 800-pound gorilla, right, Julie? And why some of them actually, like you, who have used ZoomInfo, sometimes they fall to SalesIntel, and why you took that path. So they'll hear directly from you. I'll let you introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Johan. You're making me blush here. Like very, very kind words. Thank you. So, Julie Nelson. I've been in the cybersecurity space for about 9 years now, working in everything from sales enablement to sales operations and revenue operations. So it's really given me the ability to work with both sales teams and marketing teams. And what I love about that is just bridging that gap between, figuring out who your ICP is, who your buyer personas are. So many times teams have a completely different, it's a completely separate vision of that from a sales perspective and a marketing perspective. And I like to be that thread, that ties it all together. And sales intelligence tools are really a great way to do that, so that the two teams are speaking the same language, marketing and selling to the right customer. So over the years, I've had a chance to use Apollo, ZoomInfo. I am familiar with Sixth Sense to some degree, and then now SalesIntel. And all of them serve underlying the same foundation is, the data, access to prospects' data. And then you've got the intent layer on there and AI capabilities. So there's fundamental differences between all three of them. And I think, when you are working with a startup organization or a smaller organization, Apollo is a really, really, really good place to start. And I think that's where most people start because of the price point. And what you don't realize until you get into it is that if you want more advanced features that Apollo does have, you're paying module by module by module. And then as you layer those on, you quickly get to a price point of SalesIntel, right? So I definitely, I've seen it with my own companies that I've worked with. They will start with a very base level of Apollo, and it's really a maturity game, right? I think it's an important role at the early stages of go-to-market maturity. You get access to data, right? And a lot of teams too, they will use Apollo if they've got outsourced BDR or SDR companies. So they've got access to very quick raw data. At some point, that becomes a severe limitation. So, and it's not enough as you get into more go-to-market maturity.
When do you usually see that threshold, and what is the impact that you are seeing when you hit that threshold specifically?
So I think it's a really great tool if you don't have a true sales operations and you've got a couple of sellers maybe, or an individual seller who is going into Apollo using that as more of their CRM. And because Apollo's got the email feature, and you've got a one-off user using it as their CRM. Where you really get into issues is as you start to grow and mature a little bit, and you've got a sales operations function and marketing function, where you've got a CRM, maybe it's HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever it might be, Zoho. The integration piece of it is severely limited if you've got their very base level of functionality. So now you've got marketing, who's got a database over here in HubSpot, whatever the CRM is. You've got a seller working in it, doing completely different things. And those two are still not talking to each other. So sales is off. They've got their own sequences. They've got their own messaging, their own campaigns. Then you've got marketing doing the same thing. And then there's a lot of overlap there. So the integration piece is so vital. So you have a clean database. There's also some limitations in Apollo, depending on which version that you do get, of syncing the data automatically back to your CRM. So for me, keeping a clean database and keeping roles separate so that sales knows what marketing is doing and vice versa, that is so vitally important, and keeping that database up to date. It can very quickly get out of control.
Yeah, we see that a lot. I mean, one of the things that we keep talking about to people is CRM hygiene. A lot of people, I call it the enemy within. You don't
Yeah,
realize that it's there, it's lurking, but your data decays regularly, and the people you're trying to reach out to are no longer with that company. So you are wasting calories, you are wasting time and resources on people who are never going to buy from you. And if you are not updating your CRM regularly, you face more and more problems as the time goes. That's one of the reasons, actually, we and our Mike Levy, our CRO, put that in place, unlimited credits for that very purpose. We keep telling people, and you'll be shocked at times that some of our customers don't even update their database. They can do it every day with our solution if they want to, but they don't even do it every quarter. It's almost shocking at times that it
it is.
happens.
I'm often brought into companies as the fixer, as somebody who has to fix that. And if you start off with good data hygiene, it's a heck of a lot easier. You bring up actually a really good point of why I chose SalesIntel over ZoomInfo, is that unlimited credit. I don't I cannot stress enough what an advantage that is to have. When I was on ZoomInfo before, it was a constant worry. I would have to allocate, a certain number of credits to my sellers. Like, hey, you're limited here because I'm limited of what we bought, and if we go over, there goes my revenue operations budget for the year. And then I would constantly have sellers being, I really need more credits. Can you give me more credits? And it was just something that I had to administratively think about all the time and deal with every single month. So with you, I that's not even an issue.
Yeah, the nipping at the heels over this, and it comes from us having used different platform as well. We know the pain points most people are facing, and for those of you who are not familiar with credits, is you need a credit if you use the form handling of form enrichment, you are using credit for it. If you download a list and you upload it in your CRM, you are using credit for that. If you enrich your CRM, you use credit for the enrichment that is happening. So credits fly really quickly, and yeah,
So quickly.
my subscription for ZoomInfo almost doubled based on the number of credits that we needed to use, and we literally did not update our database quarterly because of credit limitations. So again, the enemy within. I can't. This is the Trojan horse. This is the thing that you think is supposed to help you, but it is limiting you in many ways. So you said unlimited credit was really one of the tipping point, or one of the main parameters that you use when you evaluated ZoomInfo and at SalesIntel. Um, what other factors came into that equation that were important to you?
There were so many. So, because I'm also a HubSpot admin, it was the integration with HubSpot and mapping the data fields. In other systems, that's quite tedious, especially mapping things like industries. Um, if you have one thing off the entire database, well, hey, it's just not going to sync. And I've run into those issues before, and administratively, it's kind of a nightmare to update and keep up. And I have not had a single issue with SalesIntel getting up and running. I I think maybe 2 days tops. It was extremely easy. Um, I did it 100% by myself. The learning curve, the UX is so intuitive, so user friendly. It was honestly the easiest implementation I've ever done.
I'll report that to the product team.
So
They're going to be really
yeah.
proud of that, hearing that. It's so much.
Yeah.
And I would say this, I mean, having used ZoomInfo, and I'm not bashing ZoomInfo, I've used the tool and I like the tool. In
Mhm.
many ways, it's a very good tool. I don't like the bill that I receive, the budget it takes for me to run, but it's a good tool. But it's also true that, and we're seeing this somewhat with Sales Intel too, and I will talk about it at the end a little more maybe, but we're seeing that the number of features that we keep adding also adds to the complexity of the tool to some extent. And more of our customers are, I didn't even know about this. You know, we have an ICP Intel modeling right now that is available to quite a few people if they want to. If you are a customer, you have not heard about it, ask your CSM contact to tell you about it. So we have a few features that we keep adding, but we want to do so in a very streamlined manner over time. So you will hear about new developments that will allow you to actually to build automation with a drag and drop interface very soon.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah, I go in there sometimes and I'm like, oh, this is new. I
yes,
should
yeah.
probably pay more attention to your announcements and everything, but
Maybe you should. I know it's just emails after emails after emails. But what we are trying to do is really uh, not that we are going to have full 100% autopilot. I am Tony Stark and Jarvis is doing everything for me. But that's the goal. Ultimately, that's the goal. You want to see
great.
it, forget it, right? Uh,
Yeah, when you're on a really lean sales ops or revenue operations team and you're wearing a lot of hats and managing the entire tech stack, the ease of implementation and maintenance it's a huge, huge, huge factor for me personally. So that was one of the big things that I was looking for.
and
The other thing too was, oh, do you want to keep going
No,
down
no.
that?
And I would say it plays into the total cost of ownership. This is what you're talking about earlier, right? There is not only the limitation that you have if you don't can use credits as you need them, but there is the onboarding and the maintenance of the tool that is basically it takes cycles and resources in order to maintain. It's expensive.
It is.
It's expensive. And
So,
tell me about I mean, we get a lot of people who are coming to us and saying the Apollo data is not as good as we need it to be. I would say, again, our answer to this is, well, you are paying $30 a month
correct.
for that data. So you get what you pay for to some extent. But one of the things that I tell people is, look, your outlook shouldn't be to have the cheapest data available. Cheap data is very expensive. Uh, can you speak a little more about this? Because we have,
I absolutely can. So, I think organizations, especially earlier in maturity, may take a spray and pray approach of, hey, I have access, I now have access to, tens of thousands of prospects out there. I'm just going to hit them all at once and hope a few of them stick. So there's a few problems with that. One is your reputation. Two is let's say you're importing that data into your CRM. I know HubSpot in particular, if you want to market to them, they have to be marketing contacts. And marketing contacts in HubSpot, if any of you guys are in HubSpot, you know that they're very, very expensive, right? And that's another thing that you're tracking is your tier of contacts. So with Apollo, what I found that I had to do, because I didn't want to junk up the CRM, use a bunch of marketing contacts, and then they're no good. So had a third-party tool to actually validate the emails to see if they were even good. So that was taking, the Apollo data into another validation app to validate that the emails were good, and then getting them back into HubSpot. So from an administrative perspective, that wasn't great. And the bounces were astronomically high. I 40%. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then cell phone data, depending on the campaign, if you're actually gonna, do the smile and dial thing, cell phone data was extremely limited in there. And then there's nothing worse than sending out an email to somebody saying, "Hey, I noticed you're the whatever title it is at this company, and you're personalizing your outreach," and you get an email back going, "Awesome data that you have. I haven't worked there in 6 years." Right? There goes your credibility right off the bat. So it's a problem.
And I can tell you, we face this all the time. And look, um, ZoomInfo, I didn't look at it, but they have what, 600,000, 700,000 records. We have a million records, sorry, 600 million to 700 million records. We have 200 million records. One of the reasons why we're lower is we do not give you any data that doesn't have a business email address. So the Gmail, the Yahoo, and the AOL stuff are cut off. But when you are looking at this, and when we're saying they claim that they are 90% accurate, we claim that we are 95% accurate. And I'll talk about us right now. 95% accurate, it means that 5% of the 200 million is wrong for us. That's 10 million records. It's a lot of records. So yeah, we're going to miss. It will happen. But 10% of 700 million, 70 million records who are basically inaccurate, will never reach 100%. And it's a fact of life. It's a
Sure.
fact of things change, and we catch things. The refresh cycles are what they are. We do it every 90 days. Other companies do it a little less regularly than we are. But I want to say this: we are not perfect, and we'll never be perfect. You will never find a tool that will be perfect. Waterfall could be an option, but it's also a very, very costly option if you do things at scale. Have you actually done yourself some waterfalling?
No,
Contacts
no.
and cost being my guess the biggest issue there, and
Yes,
integration and silos that would be created if you are doing so, correct?
correct.
Got it. Uh, I say this, we keep being asked about Clay. Clay is fabulous. Clay is fabulous. Clay is an incredible orchestration platform, but try to do outbound at scale with Clay. I hope you have a very big budget to do that, because you are using credits for an email, you are using credits for a phone number, you are also using credit to create a personalized email for that specific person. So, you know, um, it is great, but it's all about job to be done. And data has to be the foundation of everything that you do.
It absolutely
Usually,
does.
you need a provider to get it done. I believe so. Now, tell me, I know that you have a few examples that you're willing to share and to do a screen share. Are you still willing to do
Sure.
this? And
Yeah.
specifically, I remember you showing me how you use technographics on our platform and how you use that with your partner program, the data intelligence that you can pull in. So
Yes.
please.
So before I even screen share, I do want to mention that your technographics was specifically why I chose SalesIntel. So I've been on, ZoomInfo, Apollo. ZoomInfo is phenomenal at some things. Technographics, I really, really, really struggled with them, and I'm in a space here where when you market to cybersecurity buyers, it's very niche. It's very a spray and pray approach does not work, right? I want to be able to segment uh, target marketing very specifically. I know that you use this version of CrowdStrike, right, on this solution to be able to tell them that, hey, I have a solution for you specifically. And when and every platform sources their technographics differently. It just is. And when you have that precise messaging, and you're finding out that, hey, this is a platform that company, yes, it shows up as a technographic, but they haven't been on it in 6 years. Again, it goes to your credibility of we don't even use that anymore. So um, your technographics are so good. I I have run campaigns. I have seen the success, and it's like you said before. Even with contact data, nothing's going to ever be perfect, but it is so good. I was used to having technographics of, hey, we haven't even searched for these since 2019. Well, what good does that do me in 2025? Right. So is missing a huge piece of the market and then getting it wrong before. So the technographics, when you're doing that precise marketing, it really, really helps. Like I'm looking for customers and customers that have this, so I can say, hey, I have a solution for you specific to what you're running. And then for a partner marketing program, I am going out and looking for specific partners that would be good channel partners, good VARs, good resellers for us. And I like to know what they've got as well in their tech stack. And that's been another really great use case for me too. Um, I think if you've got, a partner who has a specific technology that they are selling, knowing who their customers are to be able to do account mapping with that partner. Um, here's your customer list, here's my customer list, but then I can also see all of these other end users that have this technology to find a TAM for us to go to market together with the messaging. So
Yeah, and I
lots of
think
use cases.
what you're talking about, the TAM, SAM, SOM, so the total addressable market, the
Mhm.
serviceable addressable market, and the serviceable obtainable market, the one that you can really go after. And I've seen that many, many times also, using intent. I
Mhm.
recall telling my team, look, they have Salesforce installed. Stop going after them. If you see a Salesforce spike, they have it installed. This is not a spike. This is people logging in into the system. This is a false positive. But I'll let you do your screen share.
Okay.
This is going to be, I think, more telling than showing is going to be more inspiring
Show
for
and
the
tell here.
audience. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I just pulled up a saved search here. So in this one, I am looking for very, very, very specific people here. So you've got all of your search parameters here. I'm looking for people in the United States in very specific industries, minimum revenue threshold, levels, what department they're in, and then job titles. Those are pretty very specific here. Making sure I'm not getting any salespeople, interns, analysts. And then with the technographics, I happen to have a very specific solution for these products here. So that those are really the search parameters that I've got for this. And you can see here, it narrows it down to 65 companies. And this is completely opposite from a spray and pray approach. It's very targeted, and that's exactly what I want, right? And then 544 contacts. And you can see I've already imported most of them into HubSpot and have started marketing with them.
So what you are describing right there is, like you said, the opposite of spray and pray. You know the solutions that they are, or the platform that they are using. You have a very specific talk track to speak to them. You know it's going to be relevant for what they are looking for. And my guess is yes, your ROI is much higher on these type of campaigns than the ones where you are going after everyone and their aunts and cousins and dogs and cats.
Yeah. And then so usually what I do is I will start with a search of my company ICPs and then my buyer personas, and then I'll save this and then layer it in with intent, right? So what are the problems that they might be or the challenges that they have that they might be searching for that we can solve for? So for me, that gets me a little bit further down the funnel. So if you start with just technographics and buyer ICP, you've got all of these people that, okay, it's awesome that they're out there and we can reach out to them, but are they actually looking for a solution to a problem that they have? We don't know that. So it's kind of like finding that needle in a haystack and guessing. So when you layer in intent, your probability of reaching them at the right time with the right message goes further, for sure. And then you can layer it on top of who's actually on my website. All right, great. They know about us. They're on my website. What are they searching for? So you start building that bigger picture, and it goes back to reaching the right people at the right time with the right message. And
Correct.
then I'm happier from a marketing perspective because I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time just, trying to reach out to people that are very, very, very bottom of the funnel, which that's still important and we'll do that. But what makes it a lot better is when you can bring these contacts to your sellers. Because sellers, there's always that fun marketing conversation of, hey, you sent me these MQLs. They don't know anything about us. I'm starting from scratch. So when from a marketing perspective, if you can bring these buyers that are ready, they've done their research, they know about us, they've heard the messaging to the sellers, then the chances of conversion are a heck of a lot higher.
Yeah, no naivety. I mean, you never buy from a company you have never heard of. Yeah, and none of your SDRs and A's want to hear you're whom with whom. Yeah, this is usually not a good start of a discussion for sure. Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen your ads. And do you do so we do some of this as well. We build segments based on intent. So if we don't see first, because there is first, second, and third party intent, and I was discussing that with the team actually earlier when it came to intent. I think there is the prime intent. There is the intent that is undeclared in many ways. The tool that the tech stack that they have access to, the new tech that they just install, the new hire at an executive level, the funding that they just got, or the announcement that they're expanding in a new market, they are prime buying intent signals that most people are not really using right now. And
Absolutely.
we give you access to those. We give you access to funding. It's updated every week, and you can break it down by funding round, pre-seed, seed, A, B, C, D, E, F. I mean, we're doing this. Um,
Mhm.
but I think that technology gap is what you highlighted pretty well. Is I know that I'm a great complement to CrowdStrike, and that specific version of CrowdStrike.
Absolutely.
You hit it on the nail with that. And can you? I recall also you showing me about the what you're doing to find new partners. You said you had a very good success finding new partners for your offering for your solution. Can you say more about this and how you did it?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that you guys have already carved out is, and help me out with the terminology. I think it's oh, what was it? The additional filters on here.
You're
Oh,
talking about the keywords.
the keywords and the rankings.
Yes.
Keywords
So
and rankings. So finding the MSSPs and the VARs. You guys have already done a pretty darn good job of figuring out who those are, and it's already kind of just built in for you, which is really nice.
So the way it's done, the way it's built is we are going to do crawling, and we're going to go on these all these companies' pages, and we're going to go deep into the pages to understand what they do. So we understand their business, and we are going to tag them with specific keywords to show what it is that they do. So when you're using these keywords, you're going to get some specific VARs that have very specific companies they are going after with very specific offering. And those are the keywords. So we have intent keywords, a la Bombora, and we have all of these as well. And we have 50,000 of them
Okay.
that you can pull from. This is what you're referring to.
Do you want me to share my screen real quick and
Yeah,
I'll
if you don't mind.
show
And
you
again,
one of the saved
walk
searches?
through walk through the example that you gave me about finding new partners, specific
Okay.
partners that you knew you would be a good fit with.
All right. So this is, in cybersecurity, I was looking for penetration, so companies that provide penetration testing. And the keywords here, you can do an advanced search of any combination of keywords. And I've got, it broken down by industry, and you can go down even further, any combination. But just specifically looking for these combinations. And the crawling that you guys do already. So I was using like Chat GPT to help me find these companies, right? Um, and you actually have that functionality built in here. You guys have already done the crawling, so
And I would say the reason why you don't want to use a chat GPT for this is there is a lot of normalization for all of these keywords and classification that have to happen on the back end, and chat GPT just doesn't have the expertise to do this. So we have we have a team of data scientists who have done that extensively for over a decade. They're actually pretty good at it. That's
perfect.
but this is a pretty advanced example of how people can use our system that you are showing right now. I wish more people were using this, or maybe we are not doing a good job at promoting it. There is also so much diversity. You can do that for the supply chain and logistics space.
Okay.
You can do that for the cybersecurity space. You can do that for almost any spaces. 50,000 keywords that we have is a lot of keywords to pull from.
Well, I think you bring up a good point that maybe people don't know about it. What I appreciate so much about you guys is I have a problem. I've been using Chat GPT to try to help me solve that problem, and light bulb went off, and I was like, you know what? I bet SalesIntel could probably help with this, but I don't know where to start. So I reached out to my account person and said, "Can you help me with this?" And you guys were so awesome. I mean, immediately paired me with an engineer to work through this and help me solve this. So that
Right.
was really great.
I guess we are self-serving on this. If you have that problem, others have that problem. So but I think the problem, what you are highlighting is something that I've seen a few times. So your CSMs recognize the need to establish a solution, a better solution for you. Tell me, a couple of things that you discussed also was using HubSpot with SalesIntel. HubSpot is offering data as well,
There.
and they acquired a company to
Mhm.
even offer more data. Do you think that ultimately people can use HubSpot going forward, or do you still believe that they are falling short on that front? And again, if you tell me they are good enough, I will trust you. You have used them
Okay,
more than I have.
so full disclosure, I love HubSpot. I mean,
Same.
I moved companies from Salesforce onto HubSpot, and their Breeze intelligence is getting very, very, very good. The advancements that they've made in the last 6 months or so are absolutely phenomenal. Um, they they definitely had a rough start because you had to buy credit packages for the automatic enrichment of your data. So your data enrichment in HubSpot is going to be company and contact data. So that was a limitation at the very beginning because it was pretty darn expensive. If you have a large database and it's automatically enriching that data, you're going to use a lot of credits and use them very, very, very quickly. So in the last couple months, they said, oh, we had a lot of pushback for this. We're going to make it free. So I had the automatic enrichment turned off. And that was honestly why, I did come to SalesIntel. And I'm like, hey, I need this automatic data enrichment to happen. So I have been using that. And then when they turned off the credits for the automatic enrichment, I did turn it back on just to see really, I mean, you're already doing a phenomenal job, but I'm like, all right, let's just see this. I wanted to test it. So when you have a company and a contact, HubSpot will say, hey, I can automatically enrich, I don't know, 18 fields that you already have in here that's mapped. I just made up that number. I think it's somewhere between like 18 and 20 fields. I am regularly seeing that HubSpot only has the data for a fraction of that. So sometimes they'll have data for, 15 fields, sometimes it'll be 3. So I do think that they still have a ways to go. I honestly have not used the intent that they're doing because I have you and it's working really well. So I personally have not turned that piece on.
Got it. And Clearbit is fine. I use Clearbit extensively for company information. I think it's very good. Clearbit is for contacts. Yeah, I would say maybe they have still some work to do to be as good for contacts
Yeah,
going forward. But yeah, I'm a big fan of HubSpot too. I mean, it's they are the company that made CRM accessible to everyone and
I
marketing
agree.
information accessible to everyone. I could speak a lot about all the great things I think about HubSpot on that.
Yeah, their enrichment too also depends on the plan that you have.
That's correct. That's
So
correct. And like you said,
keep
the
that in
more
mind.
the more contacts you have, the higher the cost is going to be. Actually, I'm
Correct.
cleaning up our marketing contact list because yeah, it's getting really expensive. It really is. There was a question actually about the quality of the phone numbers we are providing. So for those of you who are not familiar with Sales Intel, we have about over 50 million, 54 million phone numbers that we are providing. Most of them are human verified. So our team check on those numbers. So what is your experience with the quality of the phone numbers that we're providing, Julie?
So we're not a huge like the company that we're using this for, we're not a huge like smile and dial. We don't have an outsourced BDR team or an internal BDR team that is just dialing. But when we do have really good contacts, our AEs will reach out, and occasionally I will hear, hey, this data isn't great or whatever. What your differentiator is. So the sellers on this platform don't know the name SalesIntel. They know RevDriver. And for those of you who aren't on the platform yet, RevDriver is it's the Chrome plugin that sellers will use. The sellers that I have never even log into the platform. They just use this extension and they think it's the best thing ever because there's literally zero learning curve. Um, and there's a little feature in there that says, hey, this isn't a great contact number, whatever. And it'll send it to your research team and you guys go and get the right data.
Yes.
And the turnaround time is, I sometimes it's hours, sometimes it's always less than a day. So if it's not the correct one, hey, you guys can go and find it most
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just they're off the grid. So
Sometimes happen. And quite a few people actually have come to us because they were with Lusha or a few others who claim that they're good, they had good mobile numbers. And the reason why ours is slightly better is again, we have this human layer and you can give us the feedback and we integrate it into this RevDriver Chrome extension. And for those of you who are not familiar with this Chrome extension basically sits on any sites you are on. And if you click on a name, we'll give you the contact information for that person.
yeah.
Email, phone numbers, and LinkedIn profile and whatever and whatnot.
I find that most of the sellers will be in LinkedIn on a specific contact, and want the data right from LinkedIn in Sales Navigator or whatever they're using, and that's where I see the sellers use it most.
And that's even how our internal team is using it the most. They are on LinkedIn very regularly, and this is where they are getting their contact information from.
Yep.
They start engaging with people, with RevDriver, engaging with people. Now, there was another. If you have questions, please let us know. You can type your questions in the Q&A. Julie will answer it live. Um, I want to speak to. There was one question about how accurate is the intent. Uh, well, as accurate as we can make it, and as good as you are leveraging it as well. So, if you don't mind, Julie, I'll speak a little bit about intent because I've done this for a while. I've
Yes.
used Sixth extensively, evaluated domain base. I've used quite a few tools for intent. Intent is when you are using it well, it works very, very well. But intent shouldn't be just people have a spike on that topic on Bombora. You're going to get a lot of false positives if you are just using these type of intent signals. So if you see anyone looking at pipeline generation platform as a topic, you're going to see a lot of spikes on with various companies. And usually, what I've seen in the past, when intent spiked for a specific topic in a company, the next question from everyone was, who has this intent? Most of the time is, well, don't really know, so you don't know who to reach out to. It could be an intern. It could be anyone. So I think that third-party intent on its own usually is not enough. And this is why we talked about technographics and firmographics and ICP. If you are seeing some intent on companies that are aligned with your business, then you are going to do a little better. A little better, not great, but a little better. I would say also is you should likely layer in intent with second and first party intent. First party intent, Julie was highlighting this, is you can do a campaign, an ad campaign to people and drive them to your website. Now that's first party intent. So it's higher signal than third party intent. You can also have integration with the review platforms like G2. People are going on a specific software solution like pipeline generation or lead generation. This is intent that you can rely upon. Now, when you overlap, when you do some type of triangulation between this, first, second, and third, plus good profiles that have the tech stack that you're looking for, your intent play is going to be a lot stronger. So hopefully it helps you. It helps you some. And we have another question from Steve. My customers are engineers who are designing drone payloads. Bombora has no category even close to this. Can you provide intent data for my potential customers? Steve, I'm going to have to ask our team whether or not we have this covered in the 50,000 intent topics that we have, and maybe do a little bit of homework before we give you an answer on this. But I would say is, you can always ask for a demo and get people to do that search for you and see it live. But ping me if you have a chance. Ping me. You can actually. I will put my email address here. Can I? Can I do this? Yes. I'll do that. I'll do that too. I don't think. Johan.abadi@salesintel.io. Just email me. Email me your question, and we'll follow up. Any other questions for Julie? Type them in here. And so, Julie, anything else that you want to share in your process? What is the best way to approach this? And I would say this before Julie gives you a wrap up on this and how she approached the evaluation is test them. Always do a test between the different providers. We are very, very good for different industries. That doesn't mean that we are going to be good for the industry you are looking for right now. So if you are looking at ZoomInfo, if you are looking at Apollo, at SalesIntel, and a few others, get a sample test, get a list, and provide them that list, and they will give you an answer of whether or not they will be able to address your industry correctly. Because
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly how I approached it. I had a list of verified contacts that I already knew, uh, that I had the correct data on, and I gave that list to everybody that I was evaluating. And I'm gonna tell you right off, there were definitely things that SalesIntel did not have, that ZoomInfo didn't have, that other providers didn't have. Nobody is ever going to be 100%. We are not there, but SalesIntel, obviously we went with them, and the data was really good. But that was one of the things that I approached it with. So we already talked about the things that were important to me from an administrative standpoint. Is this going to take me months to stand up? Am I going to have to hire other people to help me do this? And then sales tools are completely useless if your sellers aren't going to use them, right? I have been on platforms before where the searches were really, really hard. Exporting data was hard. And then me as a sales operations person, I would have, 50 sellers coming to me and saying, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" And that is almost gone here with SalesIntel with that rev driver. So that's another huge piece of the evaluation.
And I think we have a Bombora. Georgie from Bombora answered that you can add topics. You can do a topic request. And we work very closely with Bombora on this, by the way. So,
Nice.
Steve, maybe Bombora will be able to help you even faster than we would. So, hopefully we'll make it happen. And you can literally, Steve put his email address there. Um, no, Georgie from Bombora put his email address there.
Nice.
Appreciate that, Georgie. That's awesome. This I like my partners. You gotta love them. So to recap, Apollo is very, very good when you have somewhat of a less mature organization and you have a few players that will do outbound. When you are trying to scale and you're becoming a little more mature, you will probably hit some limitations, especially when it comes to integrations. You're going to have data silos, and the cost to add the different tools that you need will increase pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Uh, ZoomInfo is a very good tool, but it didn't give you the type of technographic information, not as accurate and not as detailed as what we were providing you.
And it's expensive,
And it is expensive.
very expensive.
Unlimited credits was a big help on your end, especially budget-wise, to keep things under control. And the ability to get up and running quickly. So the friendliness of the interface of the platform, ease of integration with your tech stack, and finally the ability for your reps to use a tool. They don't have to go into our platform. They can use the Rev Driver and have access to everything that they need within Rev Driver. All were the parameters that made you choose SalesIntel.
Yes. And then your CRM hygiene.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
That's good. And
that's
the
about it.
support. Yeah, we do support, and that's one of the things that we believe in. If you have an issue with some of the contacts that you want to have access to, and this contact doesn't have the right information, you can report it directly to our team, and we'll get back to you quickly. So, Julie, thank you so much
You're
for
very welcome.
sharing all of your experience. We recorded that session. We're going to share it with everyone. If you have additional, I mean, Julie, if people want to get in touch with you, my guess is LinkedIn is probably a good spot.
LinkedIn is perfect.
All right. She's a wealth of knowledge. I'm telling you, some of the things that she showed me on how she found new partners, I'm gonna have to do some of this. Literally, she gave me some pointers that
Aw,
I hadn't thought about before, and I've done that for a little while, even longer than you, Julie. So uh, she's very smart. She has a lot of knowledge that she can share. So, you know, get in touch with her and follow her. I'm sure you're gonna learn.
happy to help. Thank you for having me on. This was great.
Thanks a lot, Julie, and thank you everyone for joining us. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any additional questions for us and our team, get in touch with us. You have a contact us form on our website. You can email me as well. Happy to put you in touch with the right people on our team.